Welcome. You have reached review time with Emperiol. Today's review will be the movie Dumbo. Let's get into it. So, the movie Dumbo is a childhood favorite of many that Disney came out with the book, cartoon, and it's pretty much the storyline in the movie kind of sticks with it. So, when people seen the trailers to see, okay, they're making it to like a real live movement with real people versus being a cartoon, it was interesting to see how it's going to take. So if you notice, Disney is in the process of making a few movies this year where they're doing it with real people, such as Aladdin and what's the other movie? Lion King. Two movies that they plan to do the real life with real live version of it. Besides the CGI for Dumbo the elephant, Other than that, let's get into the movie. So, the movie starts off with. Let me start off by saying, bravo to Danny DeVito. I haven't seen him in a lot of movies lately, so it was good seeing him as the ringmaster. Michael Keaton plays in there. Also, Colin Farrell, he plays in there as well. So the movie picks up where Danny DeVito is the ringmaster. He has a circus and is struggling. The setting of the film is in 1919, back in the day. And Colin Farrell is a war hero. He was in the circus before he went off to war. His wife was left behind with two children. And back in those days, the medicine was not where it is today. So influenza came through wherever they was in the circus, and the wife caught hold of it, and she passed through that. And that's basically the flu, and there was no treatment like it is treatment for it now. Now, you do hear people do die from the flu, but it's not as much as it is back in the day. There was no real true treatment for it. They didn't have the medicine like they do now. So the wife passed, left the two children with the circus. The husband came home. He lost his arm. He wanted to get back into the circus, but the act that he used to have is with his wife, they had to sell the material. Now, he doesn't really have a true relationship with his kids because the wife always had a relationship. So now he has to rebuild that relationship with them. So he doesn't really know how to interact with them. He kind of brushes them off and stuff like that. And so, with the circus is struggling, Danny DeVito's character decides to invest and get a new act with elephants. And the one elephant is about to have birth. And so they was wondering why the elephant was groaning, basically because it was pregnant. And so, of course, it started making a lot of noise, and she had the baby. And the baby came out with these big, giant, flappy ears. And they was like, well, people would never look at that. They look at the baby as a defect, and they clown it, and it's not going to be good for the circus. So he told Colin Farrell's character, hey, basically, you want to get back in the circus, your act to be with the Dumbo character. I mean, basically, the elephants. Now, the big elephant name was Jumbo, so they was gonna call him Little Jumbo. So when they finally got as you see in the trailer, the kids do something with Little Jumbo, and he jumps up and he flaps his ear, and they try to tell the dad, but he wouldn't listen. So they get him in front of the crowd, and when he comes out, he does do that act where he flies all around the whole arena. And when he panicked, the people threw stuff at him, and when they threw stuff at him, the sign fell and it said Dumbo instead of Jumbo. And so when he panicked, the mom panicked, and the mom broke loose, and the mom pretty much stampeded the whole circus. So they had the mom branded like a bad elephant. So they had to get rid of the elephant, and they separated the two. Instead of calling him Little Jumbo, they said they stick with Dumbo so he won't be thinking of his mom. And so they kind of like had him train in his little room. And he started flying all over in there, his little room. And then it's like, all right, well, you got to bring this out to the open. And so they brought him out to the open. Like, they were talking to him, promising him that, we're going to get you back with your mom. We just got to make this money up so we get you back with the mom. So when he came and did his act and he flew all around, people took pictures of it. And when the pictures was made, the circus started making money. And then in came Michael Keaton's character, where he was running something like Disney World, where he had all these attractions, and he basically told Danny DeVito's character, hey man, your circus is struggling. If you want to feed all your people, I know you want your people, you need to come in with me. I'm going to give you some shares and ownership, and then you could just bring your people over to mine. But he really wanted Dumbo. But you don't find out that till later. So, of course, Danny DeVito thinking about keeping his crew, his circus afloat. So he bring them on board, and they live in this lavish life. Now, they got this woman who's, like, she trained in, she's supposed to be the Michael Keaton's character's girlfriend, but she's really not. She's just for show. And she does the acrobats where they swing in the air and stuff like that. And they want her to fly on Dumbo. And they giving them like less than a week to train for this. So then they were trying to tell him like Dumbo, he needs a feather. And once he sucks the feather up, that's what allows him to go and fly. So they go do this, but it's in the process of they doing the act in front of everybody at what they call Dreamland, another elephant screams out, and Dumbo hears it. So instead of him, he flies right out of the arena, and he goes to where he hears that elephant at. He see that's his mom. They got his mom is over in a haunted attraction of the park, and they got the elephant as a haunted elephant or whatever. And so he sees his mom over there. So Michael Keaton's character, he's showing his ugly side, basically. He wants to get rid of the mom, and he cuts Danny DeVito's circus off, giving him a month's severance pay, telling him basically he just won Dumbo, and he got to break the news to his team. And so now they looking like, oh man, like, what we supposed to do now? So they all want to get one last look at Dumbo, and then Colin Farrell's character pretty much says, look, we need to do something. We need to reunite Dumbo with his mom, and we need to get them off so they can get back into their own habitat. And so that's pretty much the rest of the journey, is getting them back together. And of course, Dumbo is flying everywhere, and the Dreamland folds, and they get Dumbo and his mom reunite. They get back into their habitat with the rest of the elephants. So it's a pretty decent film. Don't got much to say about it. It was pretty straightforward. Out of my 4-star rating system, I give this a 3 out of 4 stars. I wouldn't be mad if somebody said 2.5 out of 4 stars. There's no post-credits scene, by the way. So I give it 3 out of 4 stars. It was a decent film, watchable. Kids would probably like it more. It's really a kid's film anyway. But I thought I'd review it because it was interesting. But other than that, stay tuned to the next one. Till next time.